If you've played Black Ops 6, then you know what I mean if I tell you to walk around this corner on derelict. It means I'm telling you to go die. You're not winning this gunfight because you're not supposed to. Every COD launch has positive feedback as well as negative, but this year especially the maps have been getting hated on. I'm not here to add to that noise. I want to take an in-game look at some of the design flaws these maps have, and also why Black Ops 6 feels like a constant speedrun to die as fast as possible. Gamerman Adam here, game dev and Call of Duty enthusiast. Some people will say skill issue because I'm saying negative things about the game, but my 2KD, I'll have you know, would say otherwise. Oh shit, this guy's got a 2KD. That's right. That's right. And I am actually enjoying the game and I like some of the maps. Level design is not as easy as some people think. The Modern Warfare / Infinity Ward games, in my opinion, have too many nooks and odd places in the back of the maps. While Treyarch usually keeps it a bit more succinct, which is more my style. But BO6 does not deliver like the old Treyarch maps. Before going into a few maps to share some odd decisions that were made, new mechanics change how a game plays and how all the maps play. Call of Duty Disempowerment 6. In game design, a tool we use to switch up the feeling of a game or mechanic is disempowerment. Think of those levels in Super Mario Sunshine where they took Flood away your water jetpack and you had to play those levels like normal Mario. These levels scarred me as a child. It's something you're used to as a player being taken away and it changes the gameplay. Well, this year's Call of Duty launch took it to a whole new level. And for people who don't analyze it like me because they aren't nerds, they may have described it as, man, this game feels clunky, or man, attachments are more important than ever in this game, because they are. Sounds obvious, but think back to other CODs. To be more agile and quick when it came to gunplay, the main things you needed were, well, usually one perk like dexterity or a similar one, allowing you to shoot faster after sprinting, and secondly, a form of quick draw attachment. That was it. 2 upgrades and you were good for gunplay. In BO6, you probably know there's a crap ton of attachments, because now you need one to help you shoot faster after sprinting, shoot faster after diving, shoot faster after sliding, pull your gun up after sprinting. The developers basically moved the baseline of raw dog and a gun setup to be lower and just slower than ever. Go use a gun right now with 0 attachments and feel the shit that it is. You will get angry. Another disempowerment that's new in BO6 is the full metal jacket. It's a known issue in this game that shooting through walls is not like it's ever been in COD. A lot of people think it's a bug, but this was a design choice to make FMJ more prominent than ever as an attachment. Think about it. Were you ever playing Black Ops 2 and then you were like, hey, let me throw that FMJ on this class, that thing important? No, because it wasn't important. In Call of Duty and a lot of other games, walls and props get assigned values by the developers to determine what % of a bullet's damage will go through a wall. We used to see values like 80%, 90%, 70%, depending on what the structure material was. In Black Ops 6, the values are lower than ever, so not a lot of the damage is going through those walls. And when you're trying to shoot someone, sometimes you feel like that meme of the guy with the pick and he's mining for diamonds and he doesn't know when to stop. When do you move on to shoot the next person? I'm sure you've tried shooting someone through a wall on Nuketown. It makes no sense. These new disempowerments have made a lot of maps' vantage points or head glitches hella OP. The design and layouts should have reflected these new mechanics a bit more, but instead it's created a handful of maps that feel extremely one-sided. Which begs the question, why don't developers just make symmetrical maps? Like every time, that way it's always fair. Well, fairness is boring. Looking back to early multiplayer shooters and their arena type maps like Unreal Tournament, Quake Arena. At first, a lot of the design was done in a symmetrical manner because, why? That was fair. If you played Halo when you were growing up, you also know a lot of Bungie's maps were symmetrical as well, so the games relied on skill. But people started to realize, well, that was boring. The best strat was to do the same thing from both sides of the map on every map. Things started to feel the same, so devs would start placing power weapons around the maps, giving a slight advantage to one over the other. One team gets a sniper, but the other team, they're closer to the shotgun. Different, but balanced. Maps structurally also started to have advantages in different locations. But to keep them from feeling one-sided, the 3-lane map layout was designed. The middle being usually pretty even for both sides, and then lane 1 was better for one team, and lane 3 was better for the other team. It was the perfect system. But keeping that balance is the tricky part and really tests a level designer's skills. It forces them to completely understand how a game plays and flows. And obviously they should understand how a game plays and flows. This is the game they're working on. But as maps and games go through QA, people who are testing them are not always 100% Call of Duty fans. They might not even know what a Rust trick shot is when I say those words. Their expertise could be from a another game. If you're an avid gamer, you've probably experienced a time where a development team will patch something or take something out of the game that people actually love because they aren't playing the game enough themselves to see what the meta is, or they're just not paying attention to their community. Like in the early seasons of Fortnite, rocket riding a shot missile was one of the coolest things in the game. So what did Epic do? They took it out of the game. Like what? What are they doing? After, after community backlash, they put it back in after some more seasons. But sometimes I get that energy from Black Ops 6 where it feels like the devs didn't play it enough or play enough of these angles or gunfights before giving them a pass. BO6 missed the mark when it came to map balance, specifically on a few maps where you're just at too much of a disadvantage when you spawn in on the wrong side. And some of the maps specifically give an advantage on 2 of the 3 lanes, sometimes even 3 of the main 3 lanes to the same team, making us never want to play those maps again. Like that time I got spawn trapped on Scud in the trucks. Oh wait, that's every single game. I mean, they keep spawning me here because they think there's cover, but they're just trucks. I can't actually see. They can see me. They're up there.
Stop spawning me here. Stop it.
I'm having flashbacks. Warhead, possibly my least favorite map in Black Ops 6, the size of Nuketown with the enjoyment rating of Algebra class. This map is very fast paced, just like a lot of maps in Black Ops 6, which I'm going to touch on shortly. The main issue this map presents, as well as the 2 others we'll take a look at, is the one-sided power position, which as we said makes one side of the map a lot stronger. This shed thing on Warhead, you cannot shoot through it. It's the perfect head glitch. You can see 3/4 of the map from up there, and that's why someone's up here every single time you play this map. But when a power position is in the spawn of one of the sides of the map like this one, you just have a disadvantage if you don't happen to spawn on this side.
But Gamerman Adam, we need power positions on maps.
That's true, but they should be a little more centrally located, not in the spawn of one of the maps. And if there is one power position, there should be another one to kind of counter it. Think about standoff.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Think about firing range. Those are maps with 2 power positions, and there's even one in the middle that you can fight over. What, are you gonna climb up in the bus on Warhead and beat me on this roof? I don't think so. Okay, I got the AEK, bro. It's not gonna happen. When BO6 came out, there was a Warhead 24/7 playlist, which quickly got removed, probably because of the lackluster player numbers, which is ironic because they thought it was gonna be like the new Nuketown, this game's Nuketown, when it's now one of the most skipped and disliked maps. Scud is another great example of being one-sided. The whole match is based around controlling this satellite dish. It's not because the dish is extremely OP, even though it does have the best sightlines on the map, but it's because this part of the map sucks. Mainly when you're going this way as a team. Think about it. You have no cover compared to your enemies on the other side. And you can't see anything because of the structures here, the walls, this broken down building, and these vehicles in the way. There's no cover, no vantage points, and no elevation. This side of the map going this way, it's a death wish. Referring back to one of those disempowerments about FMJ, since it's near impossible to shoot through cover in this game already, it would have made sense to give the opposition here cover made of wood or thin metal, not concrete and sandbags. This is the strongest cover versus no cover situation. This area needs something else. I don't mean to sound like that one dude, but let's build a wall, or a house or something. Build something here. This could have been a perfect spot for this side's power position. And it could have been a great map with a bit better balance. The best example of a one-sided map in this game is, can you guess it, Derelict. Since I'm a man these days and no longer a child that would rage at a video game, I don't get mad, but this map brings me the closest. It's a cool map. The train lines to run through, the elevation on the carts you can jump on, it ain't bad. Unless you spawn on this side. Aww. This side of Derelict does not even compare to the counterpart. Let's do a little walkthrough as of why. The left side of the map here is decent cover, and this is definitely the power position of this side, but it's nothing compared to the other side. Right here we can see, one lane a little bit into mid, but we can't see the B flag, and we don't get that much visibility. If you choose to push around this corner, like the beginning of this video, you're gonna die. This is the type of design that feels bad to play. It's like when you take this corner, you have a 90% chance in your head that I'm about to die. And guess what? The alternative within this lane is to run into this train where, again, you get exposed to the same angles. This structure should be rotated to create different angles, to create a different space, because your choices still compete with the head glitch on the left or challenge their power position up in the window. This lane is an automatic L. So let's say you're smart and you go to the other side of the map to push. Well, you get faced with this wall and blind corner. This is not as bad, but this is not a fun corner to take either. We're leaving it up to luck. Remember earlier in the video, we said if one team has the advantage here, which one team clearly does, then hopefully the other side of the map gives it to the other team. Well, Treyarch said no. But maybe they balance it out with the middle of the map being better for this side, so it all evens out in the end. Well, Treyarch also said no to that. Yeah. Taking a look from Team A's side, the power position is the best spot on the map. And I don't mean these are always the best spot in the whole map to even play, but it's a pinch point. This is how you control a game, is if you have someone up in these windows. You see their power position, you see all 3 lanes, and you can even see most of the B flag. The left side, you have a slight advantage because you have teammates supporting you from the power position, and the right side, we clearly have the advantage. The trend continues into the middle of the map where this team gets the cover and the other team is given lanes to run down with pretty much no cover. For example, would you rather be posted up right here or moving here? What about being in this spot versus this spot on the other team? Those are just 3 maps that can make you feel like, oh shit, we got the bad side when you spawn in. And that is just not good design. But at least next time you get derelict, I recommend this trick. COD developers hate that I know this trick. Maps will always be subjective because people have different playstyles. That being said, I think this game has a few maps that are enjoyable to most people and designed pretty well. Subsonic, this one wins most times that it comes up in the vote. Half of this map is symmetrical, the hangar side, and the other half is a little bit different but still has similar cover for both sides. There's no one-sided power position that makes you feel like I'm probably gonna lose this fight if there's someone on that head glitch. Vault also happens to be a map with symmetrical parts to it. Although there are camping buildings in the back of the spawns made of stone, so it's hard to kill people in there sometimes. They don't have visibility to the middle of the map, and they don't really give an advantage because of that when it comes to objective game modes. They're only decent power positions. In most gunfights on this map, it comes down to gunplay for the win. Skyline, the hijacked of Black Ops 6, good vibe, and it's overall pretty balanced. The A bomb site has literally 0 cover for both sides when you first push in, and the B side of the map has the same cover for both sides. One tough part of this map is pushing into this spawn. The left side, it's a blind corner, there's no cover, and you can shoot through this paper mache looking ass wall easily. The right side of the map, you go around the stair, it's another blind corner. Someone is always playing this piano ready to murder me. It's just 2 hope and pray corners on one side of the map. Unfortunate, but still a good map overall. So a trend we're seeing is that symmetrical parts of maps are still around, and I think they're still fun to play. We don't need a fully symmetrical map because that is boring, but parts of it, that's kind of nice. The TikTokification of Call of Duty. Yes, I did just say those words. Remember when Nuketown came up in the rotation in the Black Ops 1 or 2 days? You voted it because you knew it was gonna be hectic. You knew you might get spawn trapped and die more deaths than the usual game, but that was okay because it was just one match. In Black Ops 6, oh, you just finished playing Babylon? Well, next up is Warhead. Oh, you're done that game? Next up is Nuketown. Oh, intense game. Next up, Stakeout. Okay, another small map, and then it's Pit. That kind of map cycle will destroy a man, okay? So in 30 minutes, you've died 150 times. When Treyarch revealed the map list for Black Ops 6, I remember being worried. I saw that 70% of the maps were S, small maps, and 30% were M for medium, no large. Combining that with the faster movement this year means we're averaging more kills per game and more deaths than any other COD. Some people love that, right? They want to come home from work and just be thrown into the brain rot action over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So it's not a you thing if you felt like you've been dying more on this game than other CODs. Basically, we're all just iPad babies now, but instead of teddy bears, it's machine guns and murder, which is why a lot of players have been playing more search and destroy than ever, including myself. S&D slows this game down. It makes the maps and the game just play more like classic Call of Duty. But there's also things about this game that are really underrated, like the art direction and innovation. I'm leaving those for another video because they are there. If you stuck around this long, consider subscribing. I just launched this channel, so it helped me out.